What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a game. We played a game against the Orlando Magic, and in the end we went to another overtime game. I believe this is our 8th overtime game this season, and that is the most in the NBA, but we still ended up walking away with a loss. Again, close game against the Orlando Magic. We've versed them 3 times, I believe, this season, and in all 3 times we've lost in the same way. Close and competitive, really tight game. Not the best offensive display from either team, and we fall. We fall in, again, a very similar way. And why is this upsetting? Well, I'm going to tell you why I'm frustrated about this Bulls team and this Bulls performance in this video. But before we get any further, if you liked the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls, their game today, and your player of the game. We lost this game 114 to 108. And look, I want to start with some of the positive things that we did. Second chance points and points from turnovers, I believe, were 2 very positive things from the Chicago Bulls. At the end of the day, Orlando did turn the ball over a hefty amount of times, more times than the Chicago Bulls did, and we took advantage of that pretty nicely. That was a good sight to see. Again, our ball movement and passing display for some of that game was good, and again, with the second chance opportunities, there's a big thing we're going to talk about against the Chicago Bulls, but for the most part, that was solid as well. So we did a lot of good things on that side of the ball. But when it was all said and done, we had the lead in the third quarter. We picked it up really well. But what happened to the Chicago Bulls again in the fourth quarter? Isolation came into play, ladies and gentlemen, and it slapped us right across the face, and we choked the game because of it. Again, there were situations where DeMar DeRozan took about 3 mid-range shots, all from isolation and hero ball, and all of them were short. The Coby White isolation play as well. We like to always blame DeMar DeRozan for stuff like this. Well, Coby White did something very similar. As he drove to the rim, he got snatch blocks. And those were possessions where we had maybe 1 or 2 passes in terms of the actual offensive set, and then we just expected these guys to beat, the Orlando Magic players off the dribble, and it didn't work. It just didn't work. The fouling in the fourth quarter was a big one as well. The Ayo Dosunmu 5th foul, a couple of other cheap fouls that we gave to the Orlando Magic that set them to the free throw line and gave them some easier points that we should not have allowed them to get. And last but not least, the buzzer beater. Not even a buzzer beater, sorry. The last second shot, my apologies, from DeMar DeRozan in the fourth quarter. I don't even know how to explain this. We had the game tied. DeMar DeRozan went to the rim and got an and one the possession before. And then, for the last shot in the tie game, DeMar DeRozan got the switch that he wanted, and instead of actually taking the guy to the rim or going to the mid-range, whatever the case may be, whatever he could have done, he decided to just chuck up the 3. Now look, DeMar DeRozan, I know you have a better percentage from the 3-point line this year, but I can guarantee you 99 out of 100 people would have looked at that shot and called you crazy. You are literally one of the best mid-range shooters in the game today, bar none. Every single season you are in and around leading the teams, leading the NBA in mid-range shots and mid-range makes. What was the idea there to chuck up a 3 from that far out? I think that was the shot that would make the Chicago Bulls win that game. I would have much preferred you drove to the basket, and maybe you get a foul call, maybe you don't. I would have much preferred you took your mid-range shots, which seems to be the only things that you like to do, but you took the 3. That does not make sense to me. Why did we take a 3-point shot when we had the game tied? We needed a 2 to win it, and there were better shot selections out there than that. And again, I can't ignore that. We're going to be looking back at this game maybe in a week's time, maybe even a couple of hours' time, and we have to look at that shot as the reason why we lost. In overtime, Orlando basically took control. They got a lot of mismatches. Their passing was overpowered. The Bulls again fouled, and again, we just couldn't really buy a bucket. There were a lot of good plays, hustle plays that the Orlando Magic did. Again, look, Jonathan Isaac, we have to talk about him. Probably the most underrated player for the Orlando Magic today. And I like that guy so much. May God bless him. But 6 offensive rebounds? Wow. That is just unacceptable from the Chicago Bulls point of view, to allow anyone to get 6 offensive rebounds on you, and some of them were just in the clutchest moments when you needed the ball in the Bulls' hands. We let that slip away. That absolutely stung and it absolutely hurt. Obviously, the isolation plays with Cole Anthony as well in overtime was a big thing for them. And again, we've done this song and dance with Orlando before. We have been in close games where we've got slapped in the mouth and we had to take it before. And this is just the exact same replica game again. Yes, the difference is this one went to overtime, the others ended in the fourth quarter, but the result is the result. We've lost 3 times in a row to the Orlando Magic, and all 3 of them have been games that we probably should have and could have won. So that is something that we need to take on the chin. And again, This is our team right now. This is the team that we're supposed to be believing that can compete. This was a great game for us. You know, in all honesty, this could have been a golden opportunity to get a win from a team that's above you in the 8th seed, and to, you know, build your standing while hurting their standing in the Eastern Conference. And this could have been a golden opportunity for the Bulls to show us that they are competitive, to show us that they have strides of making it past the 9th seed, to show strides that they have improved from last season to this season. And just when it matters the most, they let it slip away. That's our team that we have to look for. That's the team that we have to be proud of. That's the team that we are looking at for the rest of the season. And you have to ask yourself, is that the team that's going to bring you closer to a championship? Is that the competitive team you're looking for? Sure, 8 overtime games, the most in the league. We're competitive on a game-by-game basis, but what does that mean when you can't actually pick up the wins? What does that mean if you're sub 500? This was a game where you could have really proved to a lot of people that you meant business this season. Beating Orlando, a team that's in the 8th seed, and a team that's ahead of you by 3 games. Now by 4 games. And it just looks bleaker and bleaker from here. I remember a quote Arturas Karnisovas said back in 2021. And it went along the lines of this: we want to bring a team that is deserving of Chicago. We want to bring a team that Chicago Bulls fans would feel honored by, and stuff of that nature. It's not the exact quote, but that's the sort of line that he was going down. We want a team that is worthy of the Chicago Bulls fan base. You look at that team today, you look at the 10th seed last season, you look at the 9th seed this season, you look at games like this today, you look at other games in the past, and you really need to ask yourself, is this deserving of the Chicago Bulls fan base? Are you happy with 9th and 10th seeded finishes? Are you happy with stuff like that? Are you happy with losing to Orlando 3 times in a row in the exact same way, where it felt like there was little to no improvements made by the Chicago Bulls to stop the Orlando Magic in these 3 games? Is this the team to be proud of? I'm not saying I'm not proud of this team. I'm not even saying that I'm not angry with this team either. I have to make that clear. I'm indifferent about this team because this team is average. So some games I'm going to feel good about this team and other days I'm going to feel bad about this team. But when games like this happen, when you have the lead in the 3rd quarter and then you revert to isolation and hero ball, you can't buy buckets in overtime. How do you expect me to react to a game like that and feel happy and satisfied and feel like we're competitive and feel like we could go places? I can't. Because the problems persist, and it's the same problems that have always persisted. ISO and hero ball cost us the game today. A terrible shot in the 4th quarter by DeMar DeRozan cost us the game today. Kobe White didn't touch the ball in the last 4 possessions. Granted, he didn't have an amazing game, but Vucevic, what happened to Vucevic today? Who thought it was a good idea to make Vucevic shoot 7 threes today? When he was dominating in the paint all night long. He was probably my player of the game today. And even I'm critiquing him because he shot 7 threes in the game. What happened between the 3rd and 4th quarter of this game? I have no idea. My mind is absolutely blown. And you have to give credit to Orlando. Again, they do very well in the 4th quarter of games. That is why they're the record that they are at the moment, considering how young they are and how inexperienced they are. They seem to really show a different side of themselves in the 4th quarter. You have to give respect to that. And of course, they make the hustle plays that are deserving of the win. You have to give respect to that. But I felt like this was our game to lose. I really did. By the 3rd quarter, I really felt like we had control and we let it slip away. And that's the Bulls' problem, and it's the problems that continue to persist. So Bulls, Chicago Bulls, look, it's just one loss. I'm not gonna be out here throwing hats and stuff, but do better. You could have won this game. We could have had a 3-game winning streak. We could have been 1 game below 500. What are we now? That being said, have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.